So one of the special challenges.
David E. Wilmot, MD, MG, U.S. Army National Guard, Director, Office of the Joint Surgeon, National Guard Bureau.
For military families when their service member deploys is in the area of health insurance. When the service member deploys, their family may have to switch to TRICARE.
Challenges with healthcare and support services. Families may have to switch to TRICARE and use different providers when service member is deployed.
If the service member was the primary provider of the health insurance. The TRICARE network means that those physicians that the family was previously seeing may not any longer be available on the current plan. If a family then needs to switch to a new set of providers to provide those healthcare needs for the family, that is an additional stressor then for the spouse and the children.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
You know, thinking about it from the family member's perspective.
Matthew Kleinman, LCSW, Captain, U.S. Public Health Services, Director of Psychological Health, National Guard Bureau.
I know when I was in the Air Force on the active duty side, there's so many services that are right there on base for that family, and they're able to be marketed and advertised. Everyone sort of knows where to go to get help. I think that's a bit more challenging for families that are sort of living within their communities.
Yes.
Families don't know services or about how to access services in civilian settings.
Because there's a ton of services available, but they just don't always know how to access that. And I think that's always one of the challenges to promoting programs within the reserve components is how do you get the word out? You know, how do you advertise those services?
Yes.
I think that's a valid point, sir.
George Kirkpatrick, SFC, U.S. Army Reserves, NCOIC, Special Actions, U.S. Army Physical Disability Agency.
From my standpoint, I'm constantly putting on paper for all of my soldiers the benefits and programs that are out there and requesting that they put this in the hands of their family members. I mean, there are things out there like Army One Source, family programs. I mean, just Google something. It is all right there at your fingertips. And the programs that are available for military members and families is absolutely amazing.
And I think when I was on active duty.
Jamie Cook, LCSW, Major U.S. Army National Guard, Chief of Behavioral Health, Army National Guard.
PCS into different bases, there was a central point I would report to, and I would get a wonderful packet. And for healthcare specifically, I would call one number and schedule my appointments. When I transitioned, to the Army National Guard, and I really did not have a clue how to make a doctor's appointment outside of, and it took me some time to make that adjustment to realize,
Services may not be centralized or coordinated.
The providers are in the community. I'm going to have to figure out who I need to go see for doctors, for care. And you're right, we have a lot of programs set up to kind of develop those information portals for our reserve service members. But one of the unique things I think is that they are of that community. So
services are available, but unique to each community.
Even though we would love for them to engage our military networks and support services, more than likely they're going to be out there in the community, and having them be able to work with their providers in the community is more important than anything. So, absolutely.